you know that I am open and honest, and that by sharing my truth, I hope to inspire you to not only share your own truths, but through doing so, to be able to accept every aspect of you and to truly empower who you are in all ways, to inspire you to empower yourself. Those of you that do not know me, consciousness expansion is the name of my game. And so you know, my name is Kain. Kain Stromberg, the Cosmic Surfer. And I'd like to share with you my experience, my journey through darkness, and my embodiment of this state of depression, as well as anxiety in the past. One very, very quick thing, just to start off, I would like for you to try to feel depressed. Just go into a state of feeling depressed, and in doing so, notice what you do with your body. I go down to my left hand side and look down at the floor. When we go into certain states of being, we store the information within certain places in our subconscious mind, and to be able to embody that version of ourselves, we need to go into a certain position, because we store information physically as well as emotionally and informationally, energetically. To stand as your true and most powerful version, you will stand in another way. And it is the way we present ourselves to the world that the world then sees us. But not only that, the way we see ourselves and the way we then embody that version of who we are. Every version of yourself exists within you now, and you can enter that state of depression at any moment that you have a thought about it, and follow and grow that thought and align yourself with that version. Or you can stand true to who you are, grounded in gratitude for everything that you're experiencing and have experienced, with the knowledge that every piece of information this far has taken you to where you are now. And where you are now is exactly where you need to be to move forward from. If you had not experienced all the information in the past, or the events and situations, you would not be sat watching this video now. You would not be gaining an alternative perspective. You would not be learning that which you need to learn in order to go on your self-development and betterment journey, to reconnect yourself with who you truly are and bring about unity one consciousness and a state of enlightenment within this realm. I have done it myself, and it is a very powerful journey, one that is very testing and taxing, and most people will never take, because you have to actually go back and face those traumatic experiences. But if you are ready to take it, go over to our site, greatestversion.club, join the club and the 1%, and take our 7 weeks to enlightenment course. It will take you from where you are now all the way back to who you truly are, back home to yourself. So, everything we do is dependent on programs and behaviours and beliefs which we embody. When we have a thought, it becomes a reaction. A thought leads to us doing something. We think about something, we then do it, we create it. We create it within the mental and then the physical. It becomes an action. Those actions taken over time, enough times, become habits. Say there's a certain trigger which triggers your state of anxiety or depression. Whenever you go to a certain situation, it is like going into a certain level within a game. And whenever you go into that level, it runs predetermined with a predetermined program with a predetermined outcome. You have learned a program at some point in your past, one that is less than beneficial but kept you safe in the past, so it became hardwired in order to keep you safe. The fact that it is limiting your happiness and joy, the subconscious mind does not really take into account. It only takes into account the fact that it's keeping you safe. So by going in and re-educating ourselves, by going in and teaching the subconscious mind that there is an alternative way to respond to certain situations, to take positive learnings from negative past experiences and turn them into past positive experiences, we can change the very past itself. We change our emotional attachment to it, and we change the very outcome of it. I've done all this once more myself, and it is how I've gone from 18 stone of muscle fueled by anger and hatred, hating the world and myself and everything within it, always feeling less than worthy and depressed and constantly anxious about the way that people viewed me or getting things right or being a certain way. From doing the inner work, I stand here now, grounded in this present moment, completely acceptant of all aspects of myself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything that I have done in the past and everything that I still do to this day. I'm not perfect, I'm not a saint, and even saints are also sinners. As the angel and the devil that sit upon our shoulder and whisper to us do not exist on our shoulder, they exist as part of us. If you try to deny any aspect of the self, if you try to put any part of yourself into darkness, from the darkness, it will undermine you and it will control you from the darkness of your mind, from the darkness of your psyche and your subconscious. The programs which run behind the scene. Subconscious mind is in charge of 95% of your life. It beats your blood around your body. It takes the breaths in and out. It responds to certain situations with pre-programmed and pre-designated responses. When you walk, you don't think of walking. And if you actually thought of how to walk, you'd get in your own way and you'd probably end up falling over. So the programs we learn as a child, just as a blank computer is born, just as a computer is made blank, we are born blank, and we have various programs installed upon us through the external information we perceive through our unique way, through our lenses of perception, as well as that we are taught by our caregivers and the ones that love us and care for us and educate us through life. We take things to be factual, whether they are or not, and we learn them to be hardwired and responsive programs to certain situations. So I grew up thinking that if somebody was angry, the best way of defense was attack, to get angry back. So I used that as a response because I saw it around me and I learned that it kept me safe. After 2 or 3 times it worked, so then it became hardwired. Somebody would get angry, I'd get angry back, and then it would mirror, and then I'd go away angry and feeling like, yeah, but at the same time feeling that they had done me wrong because they had made me angry, and it wasn't my fault I'm angry, but in fact it's a program I'm running. It's nothing to do with them. I'm just mirroring that response, that emotion back off them. Once you learn that you can change the programs, you can change your entire life, as well as your responses to anything external. Nobody affects my happiness because it all starts from within. Going into depression was the most isolating and traumatic experience that I have ever experienced, that I've ever been through. To be numb of all emotion, to exist as though I was in a pit, a void of nothingness, where I would happily just sit in the dark and curl up and die. Because I had nothing in me. I had no connection to who I was. I was so separated from the truth of who I was that I had become numb to all emotion. I did not experience any emotion, happiness or anger. And to have people around me that I loved, and to see them and to not have that love felt within me for them, it killed me. It broke my heart. Literally broke my heart. And that experience, through being raised to be a strong, tough man, stiff upper lip and never cry, never show your emotions, boy, punch somebody before they have the chance to punch you, that sort of shit. Through those upbringings, or those informations being given to me, I had a confusion of who I was within me. I had somebody teaching me about love, and then somebody else teaching me about taking from others what you can because you should, because you can. But every piece of information that I had experienced and ever have experienced has now brought me to where I am. Going into depression was the most life-changing experience. So the most positive experience that I have ever experienced at the same time is being the most traumatic, the most negative. To say it's the most traumatic, I'm not entirely sure, but it has had within my adult life the biggest influence upon my journey and the path which I was on. So I've done a past poem about it, about life being like walking around in a foggy maze, not sure where I was going, what I was doing, or even who I was. Wearing different masks to try to please people, different faces to try to fit in and be seen in different ways. And it wasn't until I went into complete darkness, into that state of deep rest, that I sat in deep rest and almost just gave up caring. I don't give a shit anymore. Whatever, you can look at me how you want, you can think about me however you want, I really don't care. Had enough. And I nearly gave up. And why I didn't was because of my boys and the love that I have for them and the commitment that I have to them. Yet in truth, I now know that they just allowed me to shine my own truth upon them. They gave me a surface to mirror the love within me upon them, to remind myself of who I am. Anytime somebody angers you, it is just your own anger reflecting upon them. Anytime somebody shows you compassion or love, it is just your own compassion and love mirroring upon them. Different people have different reflective qualities, so allow you to see a different version of yourself upon them. And when I went into complete darkness and I sat there, I just sat and took the time to look around and thought, you know what? I haven't got anything to lose anymore. Let's see what I can do. Let's see how I can actually change my life, because I've had enough of this shit. I've had enough of feeling like a victim to external situations or my upbringing or not having enough time or being stuck within certain situations or positions in life. Let's see what I can actually do here. And I read a book called The Power of Now, about living in the now and about taking back control over your own decisions and happiness in life. And what I've learned since has changed my life even more drastically. And I know that it all starts with a thought. And what we focus upon, we grow. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. And what you focus upon grows. If you focus upon the weeds in your garden, the internal garden of your mind, you will grow the weeds to the point you cannot see the flowers. Instead, if you focus upon the flowers in your garden and grow them, then you will not be able to notice the weeds, and it will create a more beautiful garden for yourself and others around you to venture in and to sit and enjoy. And the first step along the journey of leaving a state of deep rest and taking the path towards the light was to accept that I was in the darkness. And by accepting that I was there, I then gave myself the opportunity to gain the information required to leave that position. If I tried to deny that I was in a state of deep rest, then I would have stayed there, because what we deny continues. Because every time you try to block the flow of something, it becomes stuck and stagnant and actually manifests and builds more and more behind the wall of our consciousness. You have to take down all walls. You have to open up all the boxes that you have put those past events and those past versions of yourself in, and let them all out. And only then will you ever become complete within yourself once more. So in the darkness, sat in the darkness, was the first time I actually saw the glimmer of the light and the direction it was coming from. Within the fog of the illusion of the matrix, it is difficult to see where the light is. When you go into the darkness, you can then see where the light is and journey towards it. I journeyed towards the light and came to a door, and I could see the light under a crack. The crack under the bottom of the door, the light was coming through. I tried to open the door and it was locked. And I thought about it and I asked, because at this point I had started to learn meditation, which has changed my life in more ways than I can tell you. It's connected me back to who I am. It's connected me to who you are. It's made me realise that life is a gift in all ways. And I used to tell people, when I was at that stage in my journey of excitement and wanting to share what I have learned and what I have gathered and gained with all those around me, it was like I found God, but I haven't found God, I found myself. Because God is not up there, external or external to you. God is right here. So upon facing the door and looking at it and asking, I was told that I needed to find the key. So I went on the journey back into the maze to find the key. And I found it at the centre of the maze. The key that unlocked the door and set me free. Love is the answer. It is love that is the key that would unlock the door within you and set not only yourself but the whole world free. It is always love. Love is who we are, our core, our vibrational self, our baseline vibrational being is love. And anytime you exist in the state of love, it is all perfect. Anytime you try to control or manipulate or go off the course, go off the path of acceptance of what is and being grounded in love, it creates hostile conditions and traumatic experiences. To want anything other than what you have right now is denying that you have anything other than what you have right now. And to say, I want more money, you're basically saying, I have no money. So then you will be shown the fact you have no money. To say I have all the money I will ever need, and to actually truly embody that belief and that reality means that you will, because you create your own reality by the things and thoughts you give attention. And then the next step, the next stage within my journey of real discovery and inner completion was to learn about the ego and ego separation. ego compromise, as I've called it. I learned that many people try to kill or destroy or vanquish the ego, the all-knowing and all-powerful ego, the one that wants to control every outcome and that views itself as being separate and superior to others around it. But in truth, it's the same as every other aspect of the self, and the same as with every person within the world. Yes, some people are more controlling, some people are more hostile, some people are more angry, and some are more loving. But at their core, in truth, they all want to be accepted, understood, and loved. And love being the answer to everything means the ego does not need destroying. It needs an understanding and to be loved. So you watch your thoughts, you disattach from them, you view them as external to who you are, or you view yourself external to this body and the thoughts which happen within it. You are not the thoughts that take place within your mind, and you're not the behaviours which you embody and go about acting out in response to certain situations. You're eternal. You are a being of light, and you have an infinite potential to create anything within your life that you believe possible. By thinking a thought, you create it a reality. By writing it down, you then create it reality in the material world. And by speaking it out loud, you create it a third time. Then it exists. And you have aligned yourself with it, and you can go on a path to then actually create it and manifest it physically so you can hold it. This is true with positives as well as negatives. And this is why the law of attraction is such an important aspect within your journey of self-discovery and to walk towards your most joyful and abundant life in all ways. So make sure after watching this, not only that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that notification button, but that you go and watch why it is the law of attraction is ruining your life video, because within that has all the information that nobody else has ever shared about the law of attraction and the truth behind it. The fact that, as with everything in existence, is two sides to the same coin, two sides to that same screen. And whatever you vibrate at, not only do you see as the external world, but the external world sees as you, because it is the same information upon that one screen that you hold the remote for, that you choose which channel to align with, to broadcast and to receive. It all starts in the mind. It all starts with you. If you are in a position where you say, I have depression, then you are ready to move away from it. If you believe that you are depression and that you'll always be depressed, then you will be more of a sticking point and challenge to work with. But I can take anybody, whatever state you're in, wherever you are upon the journey, if you are ready to do the work, I can change your entire life. I can take you back to the situation, the event which caused certain learnings, gather new information from it, and completely change that past. Completely change your programming within your mind. Change the programs which no longer serve you and install new beneficial programs. This is the power that we have to create the world and the versions of ourselves that we can truly exist as. The infinite potential that lies within me, lies within you, and lies within us all. And united, we stand, and we are powerful together. And together, we rise, now and forever. I am with you all the way, my friend, stood together until the end. Share what it is that you have experienced. Share what it is that you have learned. By sharing and letting something out, by venting and releasing that stagnant and built up negative energy, you make space for new clean energy to come in. And once you speak your story to more than 4 people, it becomes a story. something which is personal to you and makes you who you are, determines who you are and what you do in life, held on to like this, is going to do only damage to who you are. Let go of and released, shared with another as a story. This was part of my story of life. In this scene, these things happened. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, isn't it? That makes quite an interesting story, actually. And then look, because this part of the story had these certain events and situations in, it actually led the character that is me to then experience these events and situations. So without this, I would never have actually experienced this. Ah, interesting. Okay, so it's just a story. It's not me. It doesn't define me. My past does not define who I am. Yes, past events have created who I am within the character that I play now, but who I will be going forward is completely up to me. Completely up to what I focus upon and grow within the garden of my mind, what I give my attention to, and what I choose to experience and to take solidity from in the world around me. I'm not saying deny the darkness in the world, but I'm just saying appreciate and focus upon the light. Accept that there is darkness, but know that without the darkness there'd be nowhere for the stars to shine upon. And the more darkness that you have had around you in the past, the larger the area you now have to fill with light. As darkness is required for the light to shine upon and to fill. You are in a very unique and beautiful situation where you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. What you do from this moment forward is completely up to you. And take each day and each step one at a time and be proud of yourself after completing each step and each day one at a time. Write a gratitude journal. Please start to write a gratitude journal. Write down 8 things you are grateful for every morning when you get up. If you have not had a very good night's sleep, instead of getting up going, fuck's sake man, I haven't slept very well, it's going to be a shit day. Fuck's sake, it's cloudy outside, it's raining. Get up and realign yourself with that positivity. I'm grateful for sleep. You slept, you had some sleep. It may not be much sleep, but you had some sleep. I'm grateful for sleep. I'm grateful for the rain as it brings the water required to grow the crops. I'm grateful for the sun. I cannot see it at the moment, but I'm still grateful for it. You realign yourself with positive affirmations and you recreate a positive pathway that will take you through the whole day. A positive moment leads to a positive minute, to a positive hour, to a positive day, to a positive life. The path that you choose to walk is entirely up to who you are vibrationally. The character that you play is entirely up to you and which one you choose with the qualities and characteristics that you choose to bring in and hold on to. Know that they are just characteristics. They can be changed at any time. If your character has an attribute of being obsessive, it's just a quality within that character. You can remove it and reinstall a new one. You can regain control over your life. And the character that you play in the game of life will then walk within a certain boundary of paths towards a certain destination. The character of lack and limitation will never walk the path of abundance. The character who believes themselves to be depressed will never walk a path of joy. Align yourself and ground yourself with gratitude in all the good that is within your life and the world. Know that everything you experience is just information that's brought you to this point. And know that going forward, you have control over your entire life and everything within it. I am here as always to assist you. And it is my honour and privilege to share with you. I see you. I understand you. I appreciate you. And I respect you. As I am an aspect of you. I love you as I love myself. Namaste.